You don't wake up one day and suddenly stop loving someone. Most of the time, you start leaving emotionally in tiny ways long before you admit it. You stop expecting consistency. You stop asking for clarity. You stop bringing your feelings because you already know how it ends. You start doing that thing where you're fine, but your body is tight. You're smiling, but you're bracing. You're still there, but you're not really there. And that's usually the first sign that it's time to walk away emotionally. You are staying, but you are shrinking. You are staying, but you are surviving. You are staying, but you are becoming less like yourself. People think walking away emotionally is dramatic. It's not. It's quiet. It's when hope stops feeling like love and starts feeling like self-abandonment. It's when you realize you've been doing emotional labor for two. It's when your nervous system has been paying for connection with anxiety, and you're tired. If you're listening and thinking, "This is me. I'm still attached, but I don't feel safe anymore," that's exactly the point. The moment it's time to walk away emotionally is usually the moment you realize you're not fighting for love anymore. You're fighting for relief. Relief from uncertainty. Relief from silence. Relief from the feeling of being an option. And relief is not a foundation. Relief is a symptom that the relationship has been destabilizing you. Here's one truth that makes everything clearer. If you need constant reassurance to feel okay, it's not because you're needy. It's because something about the connection is inconsistent. Healthy love doesn't require you to beg your body to calm down. Healthy love doesn't punish your needs. Healthy love doesn't make you feel like you're one wrong message away from being ignored. So one sign it's time is when your body is always on alert around them. You can love someone and still recognize that your body doesn't feel safe with them. That's not you being dramatic. That's you being awake. Another sign is when you keep lowering your standards and calling it understanding. You used to want clarity. Now you tell yourself it's fine. You used to want effort. Now you tell yourself they're busy. You used to want emotional presence. Now you tell yourself you should be grateful for anything. You're not becoming more mature. You're becoming more trained. Trained to accept less. And this is where people lose themselves. They mistake tolerance for strength. But the strongest thing you can do is stop tolerating what keeps breaking you. It's time to walk away emotionally when you notice that you are constantly translating their behavior to protect your hope. You turn silence into "they need space." You turn inconsistency into "they're scared." You turn disrespect into "they didn't mean it." You turn lack of effort into "they have a lot going on." And maybe some of those things are true. But here is what matters. Do those truths change your experience? Do those truths make you feel steady? Do those truths make you feel chosen? Because the point of love is not to win a psychological argument about why someone can't show up. The point of love is to live inside something that nourishes you. And if you need a story to survive the relationship isn't safe. Another sign it's time is when your conversations start feeling like negotiations. You're constantly trying to phrase things perfectly so they don't withdraw. You're constantly monitoring your tone. You're constantly deciding what not to say. You're constantly editing yourself to keep access. That is not intimacy. That is management. And management drains your self-worth because it teaches you that being fully you is too risky. When you notice you're becoming a smaller version of yourself to keep someone close, That's the moment you should listen to yourself, not to the fear of losing them, to the truth of losing you. It's also time when the relationship has become a cycle you can predict. You already know how it goes. They're warm, then they pull back. You ask, they minimize. You get anxious, they get distant. You detach, they return. You soften, they withdraw again. And every time it happens, you tell yourself it will be different. But your body knows it won't. Because patterns don't change without accountability, and accountability is not something you can do alone. So when you realize you're living inside a loop, walking away emotionally is you stepping out of the loop. It's you refusing to keep repeating a story that keeps ending the same way. Another sign is when you don't feel proud of how you show up anymore. You don't recognize yourself. You're checking, you're waiting, you're overthinking, you're doing the cool girl thing when you're hurting. You're pretending you're fine when you're not. And you're tired of it. That tiredness is not weakness. That tiredness is your self-respect waking up. You're not tired because you don't love. You're tired because you've been loving in a place where love isn't protected. You've been pouring into something that doesn't hold you back, and the body eventually stops cooperating with that. It starts pulling you away to save you. Now, a lot of people stay because they're afraid that walking away emotionally means they're giving up on something real. But let's be honest. If you're walking away emotionally, you've already been alone in the relationship. You've already been carrying the uncertainty. You've already been making excuses. You've already been doing the work. Walking away emotionally doesn't create the loss. It acknowledges the loss that has already been happening. Because emotional abandonment often happens before physical separation. You can be with someone and still be alone. And that loneliness inside connection is one of the clearest signs that it's time. You don't have to hate them. You don't have to make them the villain. You just have to stop making their limitations your lifestyle. Here's the cleanest test. If nothing changed for the next 6 months, would you feel safe? Would you feel valued? Would you feel calm? If the answer is no, then you're not waiting for love. You're waiting for a person to become a different person. And you cannot build your life on a maybe that requires someone else to transform. Walking away emotionally is you choosing to stop gambling with your nervous system. And that's why it's hard, because part of you still hopes. But hope is not always sacred. Sometimes hope is what keeps you stuck in pain. Sometimes the bravest thing is letting hope go, not because you're bitter, but because you're done abandoning yourself for the possibility of someone else. You'll know it's time when your heart starts feeling more peaceful when you imagine letting go than when you imagine staying. That's a big one. When letting go feels like relief, that's your body telling you the truth. When the idea of no longer needing them to change feels like air, that's your answer. And I want you to know, walking away emotionally does not mean you stop caring overnight. It means you stop building your life around someone who keeps you in uncertainty. It means you stop feeding the bond with constant attention. It means you stop reaching for someone who keeps showing you distance. You begin choosing yourself in small, quiet ways until your nervous system catches up. Because your nervous system has been trained to wait, trained to hope, trained to chase. And training takes time to undo. But it starts with one decision. I will not keep paying for love with anxiety. I will not keep shrinking to be kept. I will not keep negotiating for basic presence. And if you're right on the edge of this decision, If you're in that space where you know it's time, but you're scared, remember this. You're not walking away from love. You're walking away from a dynamic that requires you to abandon yourself. You're walking back to your own life. And that is always the right direction. Welcome to Attachment Alchemy Lab. You're safe here.